Hi everyone, my name's Sarah. If you don't already know me, I'm a student artist in Florida at the moment, and I thought I'd record a little sketchbook tour of some paintings that I did mostly in late high school and some early college. This is one of my favorite sketchbooks to work in. I've had it for so long that I kind of feel bad not working in it for so long. This is one of the Moleskine Art Plus sketchbooks. I believe it's called the Storyboard sketchbook or Storyboard Moleskine. It's very, very small, but I really, really loved working in this size back in high school, and I still do. All of these are based on places that I've been or photos I've taken in different places. So these first two that you can kind of see here on this first page are based on some boats that we went to go see in Tarpon Springs. This was actually a National Art Honor Society field trip that we took in high school. Very few of these are drawn from observation, but these two were actually drawn from observation, which I definitely didn't know how to do at the time. But thankfully I also took pictures so that I could paint them later on. This top one right here was also drawn there. I actually ended up painting it bigger on canvas later on, but this mini one is still my favorite. This bottom one was somewhere in St. Pete, I think. This top one and actually the bottom one are both some restaurants in downtown Tampa where we were for my senior year thespian competition. I don't know why I really, really love that bottom one. It's just the inside of a Jimmy John's. I was really proud of that one at the time. This whole spread here in the middle is all of downtown Tampa. During thespian competition, I really, really loved this top left one for a long time. I can kind of tell that I laid on that paint really thick. The bottom one was the view from where we got dessert one day. The top was the back of one of the stages where we performed. And then the bottom one, if you're from Tampa, you'll probably recognize it. It's the Tampa Theater. And you can see that I've kind of added in the dates of our thespian competition. That one was really fun to do. This top left painting was also downtown Tampa. The bottom one right below it is somewhere in Brooksville, I think. And then these two here on the right, if you've ever been to Universal Studios, you might recognize, especially the top one. That's one of the restaurants. These two paintings on the left are both from Clearwater Beach. I went to go see Paramore one day. But before we went, we had a good amount of spare time and we just went to the beach or to the pier and walked around. It was really fun. This top right painting is my very first job. It was a Barney's coffee shop, and it was probably one of my favorite jobs in terms of what I got to do every day. I still love coming home smelling like coffee. This bottom right one is very near and dear to me, not because it's well done or anything, but it was the morning after a Relay for Life fundraiser at my high school, and my two best friends, Gerard and Taylor, were sitting with me in the school parking lot, and we just kind of sat together and, talked about our futures and watched the sun come up, and it was a really, really sweet moment. This was the first version of this painting. I ended up doing, surprisingly, an even smaller version of it on canvas. It was about 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches, and I gave them to Gerard and Taylor as kind of a graduation present, and they both still have them, which means a lot to me. So I love looking at this painting and thinking of that. This next spread is probably the one I'm least proud of, with the exception of the bottom left one. That one's from St. Pete down by down by Vinoy Park, I think, where all the boats are. That one was pretty fun to do. Again, I'm pretty unhappy with these two on the left. I almost want to just cover them up, but I feel kind of bad taking them out of the book or cutting them out. I really loved this top right painting. Back when I first did it, it was such a fun one to do because, again, I got to layer on that paint so thick. Thankfully, these Moleskine journals can take it, but you do have to let the paper dry and let the paint dry before adding more. So I kind of used these cheapy watercolors, almost like a gouache or like an acrylic in that way. It's just fun to kind of blend colors together. That was downtown St. Pete as well. The bottom one is also an island off of St. Pete. All right, and we're getting close to the end here. The top left painting was a 4th of July that I spent with Taylor somewhere in downtown, and that's the end of it. I've actually already started working on a couple more sketches and painting in some of these mini landscapes and mini cityscapes. So hopefully in the next couple of months we'll see a little bit of improvement and hopefully finishing this sketchbook. There aren't too many pages left where I can paint in that size. As you can see, the boxes start getting smaller and smaller, and I don't know if I'll want to gesso over them or just kind of work with them and see what happens. So that's it for now. Let me know if you guys like this or want to see more sketchbook tours. This was really fun to do. I never really share my artwork all that much or make videos. So it's been kind of fun getting to do this and share the process and the stories behind some of these little thumbnails. Thanks.